I just finished reading Eiagan's Winter by M.J. Paget, which I received from Voracious Readers Only. And so, based on the description of this book, it sounded like it was about this immortal queen who was a complete and utter tyrant of the land, and she was basically dethroned in a rebellion against her, and this is her quest to basically take it all back. And after reading it, I guess right off the bat, my first thought was, how is this a story to begin with? When we're first introduced to her, she doesn't trust anyone, she doesn't keep anyone close to her. So how was somebody able to get close enough to strip her of her immortality and force her off the throne? And the other thing is, again, in the first couple chapters, she is single-handedly slaying dragons and wrestling monsters to the ground. She wouldn't have let anyone close enough to her to enable her immortality to be stripped. Again, I don't really understand how this story developed from then. Like how she was forced off the throne, how was somebody able to get close enough to do that to her? Because clearly she doesn't keep any close confidence, she doesn't trust anyone. So how could the actions all lead together? The story was kind of split, so there was what was happening currently, and then there was kind of her past with her father, who was again immortal, very much a tyrant, much more than she is herself. And then when we start off with the main character, Eiagan, she's very dehumanized to people. She's very cold, very distant. And then there's this development over the whole book towards the end, where she's slowly humanizing herself and distancing herself from her past, kind of coming into now. Maybe the flashback should have been all together at the start. Maybe build her character from when she was a child, more innocent, and then slowly move her towards where she distanced herself and begun dehumanizing herself after, you know, some setbacks and some deaths and whatnot that she had in her life, and then maybe bring it to now where she's been dethroned and rehumanize her. I think to me that would have showed a much nicer like descent into this cruel person, and then build her back up rather than slice it through the entire story. It almost took away from it, just because the flashbacks really made it obvious when the true identities of some of these characters were revealed and their relationship to Eiagan. I think that made it kind of fall off the side for me, because there was really no mystery. It was all very obvious of who these characters were to the main character. Overall, I enjoyed how the book read and how she set up the scene for everything, and it flowed really nicely for me. But again, the main character, I think showing her dehumanization slowly through the flashbacks and then her rehumanization, it wasn't very coherent to me. And then again, as I stated, there's like her dethroning. I don't understand how anyone got close enough to her to do that to begin with, to start the whole story off. Kind of caught in the crosshairs. There's some things I really liked about the book, there's some things I didn't like. It was an okay read for me.